and welcome to PPE Quest, the podcast which is all about the best subject in the world, in my opinion, which is PPE. And I am super excited today to have a special guest. His posts keep popping up on my LinkedIn feed, and I have to be honest, every time I see them, I have to smile because I think they're absolutely fantastic. I'm very excited to welcome Nathan Wilkinson Jones from the company 1974 Rapport. Nathan, hi.
Good morning, Laura. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I can't complain. It's Friday. I'm sitting here talking to you. I've got a cup of tea and nice and busy, so can't complain at all.
Can't complain. That's fantastic. Yeah, Friday's here, weekend's upon us. Has it been a stressful week or?
I wouldn't say stressful, demanding. Most weeks are demanding.
Demanding.
I've worked all over the UK. I've worked for North Wales Fire and Rescue. I've worked for a pharmaceutical company, a construction company. So plenty of variation, lots of problems to solve, and unfortunately lots of mileage as well. But that's what I do. So if I'm doing that, I have no cause for complaint. I'm out, I'm earning, and I'm helping to change attitudes and protect people. So yeah, that's the nature of what I do.
Well, can you tell us a little bit more about who you are and what do you do?
Okay, my name's Nathan. I started 1974 Rapport just over 8 years ago. I'm quite niche in what I do. I predominantly offer face fit testing of respiratory protective equipment. I train people how to conduct face fit tests, qualitative and quantitative testing. All my face fit testing and training services are approved by the British Safety Industry Federation, BSIF, Fit to Fit scheme. So that's a competency scheme for face fit testers here in the UK. I don't want to plug myself too much, but I think there's only 9 organisations in the UK that can claim to do that. I'm well placed to supply respiratory protective equipment. So again, I'm a BSIF registered safety supplier scheme. Supply a number of brands, completely independent. And then because my work background is in the asbestos removal industry, I still deliver asbestos training. So obviously respiratory protection and asbestos go hand in hand. So that's how I try and earn a living, and quite enjoy it, if I'm being honest. I think I'm in a privileged position. I get to work doing something that I quite enjoy.
I have to say that's something I can definitely feel from you. Like you absolutely love what you're doing. I can tell that from your posts that you put on LinkedIn.
There's worse ways of earning a living, isn't there? I get to pick and choose my clients to an extent. I get to see the United Kingdom. I get to make a difference. It does feel good when you change an attitude or supply products that's going to help to protect. And you get like the kind of penny drop moments when you're speaking to someone. That could be a senior health and safety manager, company director, or actually the people who are at the front lines. Some people get it, and it's great to play a part of that. So yeah, I have no complaints.
So you started your company 8 years ago, you said.
Yep.
So what brought you to that decision, or tell me a bit more about your background? So you mentioned asbestos.
I was working for an asbestos contractor as the health and safety manager, and again I enjoyed the role. However, I began delivering training for the contractor on a commercial basis, and there was a lot of training. So there was a kind of a moment where I'm thinking, could I potentially go out and try and do this myself? So with no clients, no equipment, nothing really. I kind of made a go at it on my own. Registered a business, started a website, realised that kind of branding is quite important, social media presence, but more than anything else, trying to offer a kind of premium or quality service. Sometimes face fit testing's been I don't know how to pick my words. It could be a little grubby or a little slapdash or a tick box exercise. People just want a certificate to get on site. So I wanted to kind of change that a little bit. Worked towards getting a premises and a training centre, gaining and maintaining the relevant accreditations, building relationships with RPEs, manufacturers, so I can get really good technical support from my clients, and just trying to set myself apart from the competition really by trying to do. I'm not saying I do, but trying to do a better job and offer a better service, and hopefully that'll keep me in business for another 8 years or however long I need before I can hang my boots up.
All right. So face fit testing, can you tell us more about that? What is it like in the UK?
Okay, so in the UK, it's slightly different to Europe. Hopefully that'll change.
Hmm.
But if we were to look at the legal framework without boring people to tears, in the United Kingdom, obviously, we've got the Health and Safety at Work Act 1974, hence the name,
Hmm.
and there's an
Hence the name.
overriding duty to protect. Now, you could look
Hmm.
at a number of different pieces of legislation. You could look at the Control of Lead at Work Act, the Control of Asbestos Regs, the management
Hmm.
regulations, but probably more importantly, the cost regulations. We must identify and control risk. So an employer is basically
Hmm.
saying our staff are exposed to an airborne hazard. We have an overriding duty to protect. Therefore, we're going to implement
Hmm.
personal protective equipment, and in this field, masks, for want of a better word. Now, to prove that a mask is suitable for the individual, i.e., it creates a seal to the face, there's only kind of one
Yeah.
recognised method of doing that by the health and safety
Hmm.
executive, and that's to conduct a face fit test. There's
Hmm.
varying methods of face fit testing. That would depend on the type of RPE in use, but ultimately any person who wears any type fitting RPE, you could be a surgeon, a doctor, a baker, a nuclear scientist, a fireman, you name it. If your risk assessment deems respiratory protective equipment to be used, it must be face fit tested. There's three common methods. Well, two common methods, qualitative and quantitative. There's actually two
Yeah.
types of quantitative testing: ambient particle counting and controlled negative pressure. Controlled negative
Yep.
pressure is relatively new technology. It doesn't lend itself to
Hmm.
testing filtering face feces, disposal masks. So the vast majority
Mm.
of people
Disposable
would
mats, yeah.
use qualitative testing because it's accessible.
Hmm.
Personally, I only utilise the quantitative ambient particle counting method because it's very difficult to
Right.
repeat. It's quick, it's accurate, it
Hmm.
tests down to a small particle size distribution. It's a thorough, robust, quick, and accurate test method.
Yeah.
But most organisations, they would utilise the qualitative method, so that's the taste test, the bag over the head. It is a recognised method by the
Hmm.
HSE of testing heart masks. However, it is kind of fraught with
Yep.
pitfalls, as you'll know, and relies heavily
Hmm.
on the competence of the tester and the integrity of the person being tested. So there's just too many potential downfalls to it for me to offer as a commercial service.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. I always mention my dad. He works in the construction industry in the UK. He's a digger driver, and he once told me that they had to do the fit testing and they use qualitative. And he says, "Yeah, I'm just gonna pretend I don't smell anything just to get
Yeah,
through."
you
I
can
was
do
like,
that. Well, taste,
"Yeah,"
on taste, but
or
yeah,
test, or
the
yeah,
person
taste.
can
Mm,
manipulate the results. They could get false pass results or false
yeah,
failed results. Quite
yeah.
often, the aerosol that's testing the seal of the mask is larger in diameter than the potential hazard as well. There's a lot of people
Hmm.
calling for qualitative face fit testing to be outlawed, but I do disagree with that
Yeah.
because quantitative testing
Oh,
simply
okay.
isn't achievable for most employers.
Hmm.
The equipment's very, very expensive.
Hmm.
So I'm of the view it is an
Yeah.
accepted method by the health and safety executive. It can and will identify ill-fitting masks if conducted
Hmm.
robustly by a competent person. So when I'm
Yeah.
delivering the training, I've had people say you're a pain in the odds. You're too specific. You're too picky. Well, yes,
Hmm.
with good
Yeah.
reason. I need to make sure that you're doing the best possible face fit test to increase the likelihood
Yeah.
of you identifying ill-fitting masks. So, despite popular opinion, I do believe that there's a place for qualitative face fit testing. A robust qualitative
Hmm.
face fit test is better than no face fit test. So yeah, that's my stance on.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. I mean, when we're talking about RPE, we're talking about PPE category 3. So we're protecting against irreversible or potential deadly
Yeah,
risks, right? So ensuring that the mask fits is
yeah.
definitely a way that we
Uh,
can protect. I mean,
on
of course, PPE is the last.
on that
Hmm.
point, you are
Yeah.
completely correct. A lot of work-related respiratory disease is long-term chronic. So that
Yeah.
works against people because they don't see the hazard, they don't see immediate danger.
Yeah.
It's a case of it's not going to happen to me. Whereas if we had acute hazards, it's going to cause ill health immediately, it's going to cause pain, cause discomfort. People would definitely wear their masks. They would definitely do previous inspections. They would definitely ensure it's worn correctly. They would definitely ensure that they're clean shaven. But that's the battle, trying to educate people, because they don't see the hazard. They don't understand the hazard. They don't respect the hazard. Also, they don't understand how RPE functions. So when we go out testing, it's not just a case of there's your mask, I'll test you. It's there's your mask. This is how it functions. These are the component parts. This is how you wear it. This is how you clean it. This is how you store it. This is how you maintain it. This is how you inspect it. We can't just give people masks and hope that it protects. Again, some types of PPE are more obvious. You put it on and it works, but that's not the case with respiratory protection. So education is the big.
Yeah, it's definitely important. I mean, I've been to companies, I've seen their masks, and there's mold in them.
Yeah.
I was like, when's the last time you cleaned it? And like, clean? So, yeah. I mean, look at what you're breathing in now. That's a biological hazard now.
It just can't or won't protect the wearer.
No.
But that we've got issues before that, because the employer doesn't understand masks, which is where people like yourself or me, or potentially the manufacturers, they need to go into the organisations and give competent advice on the selection process. The amount of times I'll see people wearing a particle filter for a gas or vapour hazard, or a gas or vapour filter for a particle hazard. There's literally no point wearing the device. They're not considering compatibility with other PPE. So now either the mask's ineffective or the other PPE's ineffective. There's not enough consideration given to the mask selection process. Face fit testing is a small part of that. You'll maybe be familiar with the term adequate and suitable that's quoted in the PPE regs and associated guidance. Adequate, is it right for the hazard? Does it have the potential to protect? And then suitable, is it right for the individual, the task, the environment? And finding adequate masks, that's easy enough with a bit of common sense, your cost assessment. Finding suitable devices, that can be the trickier one. That's what we do.
That's what we do. I mean, our end goal is just to make sure that people have a great life after work, without any respiratory illnesses or diseases. And what would you say? What would you think is the biggest challenge that you face in the market, or when you do face fit testing?
Facial hair. That's the obvious one. A mask can't create a seal to the face. Facial hair is on trend, has been for some time. People don't see the significance of shaving. They think the mask will offer some protection. People do have a right to wear facial hair, but the mask can't protect them. So facial hair is the big one. Not so obvious, but you've already touched on, is inspection and maintenance. People don't carry out monthly inspections on the devices, and it catches employers by surprise. What, I have to inspect a mask? Well, yes. You'd inspect a vehicle, you'd inspect a scaffold, you'd inspect ladders, you'd inspect transformers, leads. Why on earth wouldn't you inspect the mask when it's the last line of defence between a lung full of something nasty? So people don't see that inspection and maintenance is required. So it can all unravel there. It has to be fit for purpose. And these devices can often live a hard life in harsh environments. I find that certain sectors are very, very good at looking after the mask. So, for example, I was in the fire service yesterday. All work equipment, irrespective, is spotlessly clean and well maintained. The asbestos removal industry in the UK gets a very, very bad press. People think that they're cowboys or shoddy. No, the opposite's true. They look after their RPE. It's spotlessly clean, it's well maintained, it's pressure tested, it has daily and monthly inspections, regular filter changes. So a lot of sectors have been doing well to look towards the asbestos industry, despite opinion not being that high of the sector. They really do get RPE correct. So quite often the kind of higher risk the sector, the more or the more perception of risk, the better it's looked after. But the construction industry is a big one. Silica dust kills lots of people. Agriculture and manufacturing, physical works, but people don't see the hazard. They don't see COPD as a risk. They don't see occupational asthma as a risk. So again, it all boils back down to people not appreciating the risk, or not seeing the need to wear a mask correctly and consistently. So yeah, the battles, maintenance, education, facial hair will always be my nemesis. But that said, there are options out there for people who choose to wear facial hair. We've got powered air purifying respirators, but as soon as you start discussing the initial outlay or unit cost to clients, it's not that popular with some clients. It's as expensive. There's an overriding duty to protect. I've got a half mask behind me. People don't appreciate that they can be difficult to wear. So the recommended continuous wear time's up to an hour. If you throw in physical works, these are very difficult to work. Increasing temperature, layers of other PPE or workwear, certain respiratory conditions or lung health, they're difficult to work in. But again, if we go down the route of powered air purifying respirators, great devices, no breathing resistance, keeps you cool, long wear times. We can incorporate head protection, hearing protection, face and eye protection, and your respiratory protection in one device. So I think people slowly are waking up to the merits of powered air. Obviously, as a business, I need to be able to supply it. Again, as a face fit testing company, powered air should be my enemy, but it isn't. It's about protecting people. Any solution, tight fitting is the way forward. Great, we'll make sure it's the right mask. If powered air is the solution, great again, we'll make sure we're specifying it correctly. But again, it's a lack of knowledge. People go out, people are cheapest. It doesn't offer the required levels of protection. It's not relevant for the hazard. It's not right for the person. So again, we've just got to get the selection process. It's the same with PPE. There's lots of products out there. Marrying that product to the individual, the products, the environment, making sure it's going to remain effective going forward.
Yeah. I mean, facial hair is also a huge issue here in Switzerland, as you said. It's on trend. We've got the hipster trend. It's still there. I mean, one thing I love about your social media posts, you often post about your wonderful moustache, which is
mustache
suitable for wearing a mask.
Right, no, but, again, I mean, this came again back to my kind of personal life. Took my mother to a Queen tribute last year. I've always been clean shaven for work because of the asbestos industry. And I purchased a fake moustache for my mum and my brothers and myself. Put it on my brothers, hilarious. Put it on my mum, very, very funny. I put one on, and they're all like, "Oh, that looks okay." So, well, okay, I'll try a moustache. And it's a talking point for work. It makes my face look interesting. But it's a good talking point for work. I'm asking or expecting people to be clean shaven. Well, you've got a moustache. Well, yeah, but it doesn't contact the seal. It's maintained, so it's not going to compromise the performance of a mask. And again, I can play devil's advocate. I don't think it's a hardship to shave on a daily basis if your job role expects you to wear a mask. I really don't think it's a hardship. I spent time in the asbestos industry myself. All my guys, they get up, they have a shave, they go to work. It's not a biggie. I know that there are people that, with good reason, would choose not to shave. That's their prerogative. But for the majority of contractors or employees, I don't think shaving on a regular basis is much to ask. We could liken that to other sectors. If I worked in the National Health Service, if I was a female, I couldn't have long nails because that's part and parcel of my chosen career path. I wouldn't sit there moaning that I can't have long nails. I accept that as part of my job to protect myself and other people, I need to maintain my nails. That shouldn't be any different for facial hair. There are options, powered air, stay away from the hazard, control the hazard by other means, or, without being abrupt or rude, find a different career path.
Yeah, I completely agree. How are these the arguments that you give to people who are resistant to shaving, or do you have any ways or of
I
persuading them?
mean, the first thing to do is to explain how the mask functions. People don't realise that it's trying to
Right.
create and maintain an airtight seal to the face. We can then start to
Mm,
talk about exposure health effects. I'm not one for running over
hmm
statistics, 12,000 UK deaths. Yes, that's significant, but people are of the opinion I'm not
Yeah,
going to be one of those numbers. So we can talk about how that's going to affect
exactly.
your lifestyle going forward. Again, not being able to do the things that you want to do, not getting out walking or playing golf or playing football, or even to the stage where your house
Mm,
family struggle to walk upstairs, a slow and painful death, life-limiting illness. So again, try and make them aware of the hazard and the conditions. We'll then talk about
mm,
the thickness of facial hair. So if we're saying that's a facial hair, we're talking 50, 60, 70 microns. You're trying
mm,
to protect against a hazard that's less than 2.5 microns, then likelihood 1 micron, zero point 0.1 of a micron. If we're talking about bacteria and
yeah,
viruses, we're talking nanometers. So giving them context that these products, these hazards will penetrate the seal of the mask unless they're clean shaven. If we can't educate,
yeah.
then this isn't down to me. I'm an external contractor. It's got to be enforced. So again,
Hmm.
if we're looking for enforcement, we're going to upset people. But by enforcing, we're going to keep
Yeah,
the person safe. And when I'm saying enforcing, I don't mean you must be clean shaven. That could be an option. It might be the case that we take that person away from the hazard. You can't do
mm,
certain activities. But it's a very, very difficult position for employees to be in.
yeah.
Employers to be in, because if they go
Hmm.
upsetting the skilled
Yep.
workforce, they'll potentially go elsewhere.
Hmm.
It costs money to recruit, it costs money to train and educate and incorporate people into a business. So I'm thinking, well, if that
Yeah,
person's going to leave your employment, surely you would want to get them a powered air purifying respirator for X amount of hundreds of
right.
pounds. But again, if you give the powered air system to one person, everyone might want one, and the employer is staring at tens of thousands of pounds where tight fitting. So we've just got to
Yeah.
strike a balance. Employees have duties, employers have duties, but ultimately people have got to be protected. If people choose the route of tight fitting, we'll make sure it's correct for them. If people choose the route of powered air, again, we'll
Yeah.
make sure it's correct for them. But we certainly haven't got one solution for in an organisation. They're going to need a range of respiratory protective
No.
equipment.
Definitely. And I think that's what a lot of people really do forget. I mean, I see a lot of companies here and they buy one mask for the whole team. It's like, how can you believe that one mask is going to fit absolutely everyone when you've got different genders, you've got different body types? I
Yeah,
mean, you wouldn't expect this one team to wear the same size of shoes or the same size of
absolutely.
gloves.
But again, people don't see that because it's not that field of
Yeah.
expertise. It's nothing that they've been educated in previously. So you can see why it goes wrong. But this isn't something new here
Hmm.
in the UK. Face fit testing has been a legal requirement since 2002. And yet I'll quite often
Hmm.
hear comments of, "Oh, this is all new." No, this is now 23 years older. It's been a mandatory requirement.
Gosh.
And quite often, I
Yeah.
won't say I play games, but if I get a new inquiry from a new client, I might ask, for example, why do you want to face fit test your staff? Oh, the client's asked
Hmm.
for it, or we need it to get on site, or the insurers have said
Right.
that we need it, or we've had the HSE on site.
Mm.
I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So what you mean is you want to ensure the health and safety of your staff. Is that what you're trying to say? Oh yeah, yeah, that as well. But again, it's an afterthought. Again, you can
Gosh.
see why people run businesses as a commercial entity.
Yeah.
Businesses are run to make money. It's as simple as that. But we can't do that
Yeah.
at the jeopardy of people's health and safety, can we? Irrespective of all, be this could be head
No.
protection, feet protection. I mean, we don't make people, we can't make people ill at work. And the only reason that legislation, health and safety legislation exists is because the moral obligations aren't being met. People have a
No.
right to be protected, a moral obligation. So legislation, in my opinion, kicks in because people fail in their moral obligations.
Hmm.
It's a sorry state of
No.
affairs.
And that is really sad.
It is.
Yeah.
People should want to
It is
protect,
tragic.
but
Really is.
again, It costs
Right.
money to protect people, doesn't it?
But is there a danger? I mean, face fit testing has been a regulation since 2002. Have there been any companies that kind of offer the service but don't give a good service? Is that a thing in the UK, or are all fit
Yes.
testers
Um,
competent?
it's the same in any sector. There's people who are good at what they do. There's people
Right.
who are not good at what they do, and there's people who are
Hmm.
blatant charlatans. There's lots of
Right.
examples of people going out and buying a face fit test kit, playing around with it. Very, very
Hmm.
dangerous. You hear all kinds of horror stories of people not using the hood, people not doing the sensitivity test. There are companies
Hmm.
where you could contact them and ask them to conduct a face fit test without the person being present, and they'll send you
What?
a certificate. Quite worryingly, in COVID, there was people training people how to conduct a face fit test online, remotely. I could have made a hell of a lot of money during COVID, a hell of a lot of money by offering online training.
Yeah.
But this is a practical exercise. It needs practical
Yeah.
training. And again, there's still competitors, I use the term loosely, offering face fit testing training as an online offering.
Oh
The
wow.
health and safety executive know that face fit testing's happened to a poor standard, hence launching the Fit to Fit scheme. So
Hmm.
those not in the know, it's a
Hmm.
competency scheme for face fit testers run by the British Safety Industry Federation. Myself and any other face fit tester worth their merit, they go for a 3-year assessment,
Hmm.
a robust assessment to prove that they are competent face fit tester. So certainly for anyone in the UK or Europe wide, as the scheme rolls out,
Yeah.
please, please, please select a fit accredited face fit tester. Their competence has been scrutinised by a third party. That goes out to the training as well. Training happens to a very,
Hmm.
very poor standard. So again, the BSIF have launched a scheme to approve face fit testing training. So again, if you're looking for training,
Yeah.
select training that's been externally approved. You would do this with any service in life. You look for good providers. Why wouldn't the same be true for something as important as maths?
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the Fit to Fit scheme actually being more rolled out in Europe.
Yeah,
I know it's been rolled out in a few countries.
yeah.
Hopefully Switzerland, where I'm based, will happen soon. I'm
I
working
think
on
what's
that,
happening
but
again when you speak to the BSIF or the CEO of BSIF,
mm,
Alan Murray, he'll tell you the progress that's being made. But European
yeah,
nations are looking towards the UK for best practice. The Fit to Fit
yeah.
scheme is growing slowly across Europe. It's my understanding that the majority of countries are looking at this predominantly for asbestos workers and or certain
Mm,
high risk sectors, but ultimately masks are worn for a reason. They're worn because the risk assessment has said you need respiratory protection. Therefore, in my opinion, you must prove that that mask is offering the required level of protection. Pre-use inhalation
yeah.
checks, pre-use exhalation checks. That's not a face fit test. You know, that is a pre-use check. We need to use face fit testing as part of the mass selection process, preferably quantitative.
Mm,
And then we need to repeat the face fit test at certain intervals to make sure that the mask remains effective going forward. So aging,
yeah,
changes to facial features, weight loss, weight gain,
yeah,
trauma, subtle
yeah.
changes to the face can and will compromise the performance of
Hmm.
the mask. But again, that's something else that's overlooked. People do it
Yeah.
once and then think, right, that's it, we're done. Whereby on
Hmm.
many occasions we will conduct repeat face fit testing and it transpires that the device is
Hmm.
no longer effective for a number of reasons. That's our
Yeah,
opportunity to find one that does fit and protect going forward. So again, repeat face
yeah.
fit testing is important. I'm going to say that because I run the face fit test company. But again, health and safety
Hmm.
executive guidance suggests that it is not a one-off event, and certainly no longer
No,
than 2-year intervals between tests, if all variables remain
definitely.
constant.
Yeah, I mean, I've also seen this live. I've fit tested one company, and I remember we did this yearly, and then this one woman came, and she had been on a diet, and she'd lost a lot of weight on her face, and then we're like, look, your mask doesn't fit anymore. You got to use a new one. She's like, oh my God, what? I was like, yeah. I mean, even a change of like 5 kilograms, I don't know what that is in stone, but it makes a difference.
I still work in stones,
does
but I
make a
don't know it
difference.
as in kilograms. But yeah. So
Yeah.
as a guide,
No,
we're looking
it's
at 10% fluctuation in body weight. But again, that might be too
yeah.
lenient because some people will lose weight in different places. So personally, if I lose or gain weight, it's all around my middle. Whereas some people, they would lose or gain weight on the face. So again, any
face,
significant change, that's going to trigger a retest. Also,
I mean, again, it's the P in personal, isn't it?
yeah, something that I've encountered more and more recently is where people have passed a face fit test. They have the same device. There's been no change to the facial features. However, we're now identifying failed results on the same mask. So the face is the same. It's worn correctly. We're identifying faults with the mask, which could be slight deformation to the face seal area, or on more than one occasion, we've got an aged filter that's no longer performing. So quantitative, in particular, quantitative face fit testing will identify minor faults with the mask. So that's another advantage. Faults that wouldn't be visibly recognised at inspection, however, they're significant enough to compromise the performance of the mask. We are identifying that, which is good, which is nice. And then again, that's the start of education. We're saying to the clients or the wearers, you must change your mask. Mask and or maintain it as per the manufacturer's instructions. You can't have the same filter on it for months and months and months and months. We need to consider how it's stored so it's not being deformed. We need to consider the frequency of use as well. Heavily used mask is potentially going to deteriorate than one with lighter use as well. Also looking at the date of manufacture on the mask and cross-referencing that versus the manufacturer's instructions. We see old masks, and again, a campaign that the BSIF are very proactive on is substandard or counterfeit respiratory protective equipment. People buying from Amazon, Temu, Alibaba, market stores, no CE marking, and therefore
Nothing.
more often than not, no protection.
No, it's a fight we're also fighting here. We see it more in safety shoes in Switzerland.
Do you think
see
you're
these amazing
fighting
safety shoes?
a winning battle or a losing battle? What's your?
Oh, it's a losing battle at the moment. I mean, it's cheap.
Yeah.
And Temu on all these online marketplaces, they're growing. And, and some companies there's some companies that do expect their workers to pay for PPE, which is of course against the law. But hey, there are some companies that do that. And so if a worker has an allowance of 100 francs or £100 for PPE, he's going to buy the cheapest he can find. Spend the rest of the money on someone else.
It's a sad reality, and again, we're in a similar situation. Certainly, where we've got subcontractors, they will go into a local PPE supplier, and the first question might be, "What is the cheapest mask, or what are the cheapest gloves, or what is the cheapest eyewear?" It's always the cheapest. What's on offer? However, if they're buying, for example, a drill, how much is that Milwaukee over there? They'll gladly spend £800 on a drill with equipment, the favourite brand.
Exactly.
But when it comes to PPE, what's the cheapest? For me, again, I have no financial restraints. I work in the real world. I've got a family. I need to run a home, a car, etc. But there's certain things you don't scrimp on. And for me, if I was a tradesperson, I'm not going to go out and buy cheap boots. These are going to be on my feet for 8 to 10 hours a day, every single day of my working life. I want something that's comfortable, be safe, be protected. No difference for a mask or any workwear. There are areas in life where you can cut corners and save costs. Personal protective equipment shouldn't be one, but unfortunately, it does.
Yeah, it unfortunately is.
Yeah.
Oh, Nathan, I feel I could. Oh, sorry. Did you?
Well, I was just gonna say that kind of leads on to the products that I supply and stock and recommend. They're not cheap products. It's as simple as that. They're premium products, and I've got upper level premium or kind of entry level premium. But if I'm supplying substandard, which I would never do, But let's say entry-level products, I'm going to get entry-level results. And it's a false economy where people are going back out and buying poor quality masks. We're going to get poor results. If people are buying premium products, we're going to get good results. So again, you've got to look how you are spending your money. Employers need to take on competent advice from people such as yourself or people who know what they're on about, not ringing up a PPE supplier and speaking to someone in a call centre who knows nothing about the products that they're trying to purvey. You need to speak to experts to make sure we're selecting the right products. And again, if you're getting the right products, the chances are you can condense the product range. So you've not got 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 different 8, 9, 10 brands doing the same job. You might be able to condense that into 2 or 3 products that are serving the needs of the vast majority of the workplace. Again, it's got to be personal. But again, paying that little bit more for the product is going to give so much benefits to the employer and the employee as well.
No, definitely, totally. Oh, Nathan, I feel I could talk to you all day about this. I've absolutely loved our discussion. And where can we find more about you and about your services?
I try to remain active on social media, LinkedIn, Nathan Wilkinson Jones. I do have a company page, but I don't pay any attention to that. People aren't bothered about my company, they'd rather interact with me. So yeah, LinkedIn, Nathan Wilkinson Jones. I do have a website, www.1974rapport.co.uk. My contact details are freely available if anyone has any questions about masks. This isn't, I'm not looking for commercial gain, but if anyone has questions, queries, they're looking for advice on products or face fit testing, pick up the phone, drop me an email. I don't charge for advice and opinion. That's not how I work. I do shoot myself in the foot with that offer. It's a genuine offer. Often I'll find I'm taking 10, 12, 15, 20 calls or emails a week just asking for advice. That's fine by me. My advice or opinion doesn't cost a thing, and it may assist someone going forward. So yeah,
brilliant.
Website, phone, email, get in touch if I can help or advise. I will. Quite often my opinion may not be valued or appreciated, but it's my opinion. You can take it or leave it. Sometimes we can give factual advice, other times it's more subjective or anecdote.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And I hope to talk to you again soon.
Yeah, my pleasure. Quite honoured and privileged to be asked to be part of this. Yeah, it's exciting. It's all good. And again, if we're all making noise about PPE and RPE, ultimately somewhere that's got to be raising standards. It's got to be raising standards.
I hope so.
Fingers crossed.
I hope so. Fingers crossed. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.
Cheers.